Hey, it's Tim Wood here on MVC Gridiron Weekly. Glad to join you. A bonus edition, MVC Gridiron Weekly overtime here on a rainy Monday afternoon in the Merrimack Valley. Hey, we were trying to make it happen during the show yesterday. Very excited to make it happen today. Thrilled to have the chance to talk to Lucas Bargwin from the Drake at Middies. For those of you who did not see the show yesterday, Lucas had himself a day. He was an early season MVC MVP weekly candidate. Had an AC joint injury early season. Came back. Injury to JC Santiago, the quarterback from Drake, forced Lucas to play quarterback. Well, not forced, but Coach Jordan Murphy asked him, and he was up to it. He played as a freshman. The 1 year he has played, he's always played running back. The 1 year he has played, had a great year as a freshman, but then got injured as a sophomore, and comes into this game 245 yards passing, 172 yards rushing, 6 total touchdowns. He's a candidate for Week 10 MVC MVP, and we are thrilled to bring him onto the air. Here is Lucas Bargwin from Drake. All right, here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, the bonus edition. We're excited to be talking to Lucas Bargwin from Drake High School. Tried to make it. What happened with the phone?
Oh yeah. No, I woke up and my phone wasn't working, so I had to go get a new one.
Okay, so so like we're mid show, and then all of a sudden I get this flood of highlights from him. So I'm like, all right, and then he says I had to get a new phone. So we were in the middle of the show, so we couldn't make it happen live on the show, but we want to get him on. Really appreciate you joining us here on the show, no Lucas. All right, so listen, I mean, I've been covering local sports. I've covered a lot. I covered national Super Bowls and World Series, but I covered a lot of local sports. I have not seen a stat line like that in a long time. Tell me what in the world got into you in this game? This is your first time playing varsity quarterback.
Yeah. I've been waiting for this moment for a while, ever since freshman year. I mean, when they say it's your turn, you're a quarterback,
yeah,
you pretty much have the game in your hands, so you can control it. And when they told me I was at quarterback, I was just excited I'd be able to control the game, set the tempo.
And I mean, you did.
Yeah.
Right from the get go. I mean, was that throw to Annis right early in the game, or was that late?
The throw to Annis was, I think it was right before the half.
Wow.
We got a goal line stop on the one, and then
I was gonna say that's 99.5 yards essentially,
yeah,
right?
It was 100 yards. Could be the longest touchdown pass in school history. I have no clue.
I mean, it's if not, it's 1 yard short.
Exactly.
I mean, it was crazy. In terms of just getting your shot. You said that you said before that you'd played quarterback freshman year, but hadn't really played. You've been a running back most of your career. Tell me about just getting that shot. Tell me when Coach Murphy told you, and just what you're thinking in that moment.
Oh, I was pumped. I mean, when he told me I was quarterback, I was hyped. Because coming out from 6 straight losses, I mean, everyone in the team were kind of down, but you can't come down. So I just wanted to get the team up, and that's what we did Friday night.
I mean, 245 in the air, 172 on the ground, and we're showing some of the highlights up on the screen right now. I mean, tell me. So listen, this last play that you sent. You scrambled a good
25 yards.
25 yards back, probably 40 yards of running total before you've I mean, you're either gonna be the hero there, or you're gonna be like Coach Murphy's just gonna be what are you doing?
Exactly.
Tell me how that played out. You just looking for the opening there?
Yeah, I mean when they told me I was quarterback, I always try to extend the play. because I feel like when you extend plays, like that's when broken plays happen, and that's when you make the play. You know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely.
I tried to do that with my feet. As you can see, like all the QBs, like Lamar Jackson, Patty Mahomes.
Yep.
Nowadays, it's turning into like a scrambling type of game. I mean, they're
Without
making
a
plays
doubt.
on their feet.
Without a doubt. I mean, but I mean, even when you first started, like Roethlisberger was probably one of the first ones in the modern era to like
Be a
NFL
pocket
wise,
passer.
yeah, to be like out of pocket, like you said, extending the play, and even with him that didn't take off until Russell Wilson, Jackson now, like you said, Mahomes, like have you always had that? Have you always had that green light growing up in terms of extending plays?
Yeah, I've always been extending plays, trying to do like the most for my team. Just trying to do everything right.
Absolutely. I'm just kind of curious, like, because I mean, and I'm going back, but I mean, like when I played high school football, it was like extending plays was like highly discouraged. It was like just do your job. Go down, go down. Do not run back 25 yards to find an opening to pass.
Yeah.
So, in terms of just in this game and in this opportunity, what was it like to actually get that spot to play quarterback once again?
I didn't think I was going to get that opportunity again, honestly, after freshman year. Unless like a few starters went down, but to get that job my senior year, like one of my last two games, I mean I'm gonna take every chance I got,
Now, your older brother, did he play in high school?
No, he played in like Pop Warner. Then he went to soccer.
Okay.
He played soccer in high school. Yeah.
Okay, now that's Mateus. He's at NC State now.
Yeah.
So. Where does the football background come from you?
Definitely my uncle. My uncle's a diehard football fan.
Yeah.
He's been watching since when the Patriots sucked. They used to call them the Watriots. Wait till next year.
Oh, I remember well. Steve Grogan, Tony Eason. Yeah, I remember.
Nah, he's definitely he got me into football.
What's your uncle's name?
Uncle Bruce. He's at every game.
Nice.
Yeah, he hasn't missed one ever since Pop Warner too.
Wow, that's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah.
So he's the one who got you into Pop Warner?
Yeah, him and my next door neighbor, Alan French. I don't know if you know Alan French.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my next door neighbor.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, they both got me into football.
Okay. And then you've been playing ever since 4th grade?
Oh yeah. Every day.
And why running back? How did you start to gravitate towards running back?
When I was young, I was always the smallest one, but I was pretty fast, so they would just give me the ball and say, "Hey, hide behind the lineman."
That's all. Yeah, absolutely. Hide behind the lineman, find a hole.
Yeah.
All right. So we've seen a couple of these long runs from you. I mean, and I always ask this of guys, because it's such a unique feeling in sports to see that hole. Like, tell us what it's like to see that hole open up and know that you just got to outrun them from there.
Yeah, a few times this year my offensive line has done a great job opening up holes for me, so I can just break away. And when you see that hole, you just got to hit it, because that's what your linemen want you to do. I mean, they're blocking for those 3-4 seconds right when you see that hole. I mean, I could drive a truck through that 65-yard touchdown hole.
It was pretty big.
Yeah, so I just took off.
All right, shout out to the linemen. Who your linemen?
Adil, Salois, Tusa, Grant, and McCarthy. They're just dogs up front.
Nice. In terms of your injury history, I mean, you broke your forearm sophomore year.
Yeah, that year was shortened.
You played one game or 2 games?
I played one game.
One game. So you started the year on varsity at running back, right?
Yep.
And it happened in the second game, starting the second game.
Florence. Yep.
Oh, jeez. So, then you come back. You come back.
Junior year, I just played defense.
So yeah, tell me in terms of how that happens. In terms of as you're rehabbing and you're coming back, I mean, in that spot, a lot of kids would quit. I mean, a lot of kids have quit because it's like, I've been playing running back my whole life. You're not going to give me a shot at running back. I don't want to play anymore. Like, tell me why you took a different path there.
Coming in junior year, we had like a lot of talent from like Cam McCullough, Alan French. Like, we had a lot of guys returning and a lot of guys that were going to like carry the ball, like ball dominant players. So, I mean, I just went to workouts every day, working out with these kids. They were like crazy athletes. So I just had to keep getting better every day. But, when like the season started, it was like 4 kids competing for 2 corner spots. And it was like actually against like my best friends, Sean and Kyle. So it's like kind of tough to like compete with them. But we all didn't complain. We worked as hard as we could, and whoever got the starting spot, like, got the starting
spot. Now, is that Kyle Silva?
Yeah, Kyle Silva.
So Kyle Silva, because we talked to him earlier in the season, after the game after you went down, he gets his shot at running back and has a career game.
Exactly. It's just next man up. That's just been the storyline, especially with a small team. You have guys going down like flies left and right. I mean,
how many guys do you have on the team?
Say we started the year off from like freshmen through seniors. I think we had like 65 guys.
Wow.
And
total.
Now we're total. And now we're probably at like, for varsity, we probably have like 35, 40 guys dressing on Thanksgiving.
So it's pretty much a given you're going to play both ways if you're
no doubt.
At some point.
Coming into this year, I was offense and defense. I mean, I even played linebacker for the first time. This is my first time ever playing linebacker.
So tell me the AC joint injury, you guys start 3-0. That happened in the third game?
Second game.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you tried to come back?
So I come back versus North Andover. I think that was week 6.
Yep.
And then I play week 6. I play week 7 versus Tewksbury. And then we have our playoff game versus Revere. And then I play that week. And then I got hit in the Revere game on the same spot. So it like got bigger again. So then I sat out the following week, which was versus Wakefield. And then I'm back for this week versus Burlington. It's just been an injury that's been lingering all season.
Absolutely. But I mean, AC joint, I mean, you don't expect to get called in to play quarterback when you're coming back from AC joint.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then not only do you go in there, I mean, you shined. It wasn't like 172 on the ground. That was great, but I mean, 245 through the air. Yeah. And a couple of those passes were I mean, they weren't all cheapies. They weren't like all screens. There was a couple of long passes.
The deep balls.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if the ball's in your hand, you got to make a play. So you can't let all the people down that are there. Just do what you got to do.
Tell us just in terms of the season. You mentioned the numbers are always small, and you guys start 3-0, and you know, as someone who's not there, like we're doing an overview, and we were at the Billerica Drake game. But then from there, it was just kind of seeing the losses pile. And it's like, what's going on with Drake? Like, it's same kind of thing as Methuen. Like, started off hot and then just can't find. Is it learning how to win all over again once that those L's start piling up, or just what happened there?
Yeah, you probably said it right. I mean, once you get your teeth kicked in a few times, you're not really like. I mean, winning a football game is pretty hard. It's not easy, especially a varsity football game. It comes down to the wire, and like you gotta try your ass off every play, and I mean you get tired, so people get hurt. You gotta like step in.
Especially when you don't have those numbers, like you said.
Yeah, I feel like if we didn't have injuries, we would have had a better year than what we had. But obviously, you can't blame a season on injuries.
No, you just gotta play what's dealt.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit in terms of Coach Murphy. You switched coaches again this year, and what's it been like playing for Coach Murphy and the staff?
Oh, it's been incredible. I think he's a great coach. It's awesome having a guy who can like relate to you because he's like 29. He's not like he's as young as like the kids.
Yeah.
Played college football at Bethune-Cookman Division I program. I mean, the guy knows how to win, and he knows how to play the game of football, coach it. I'd do anything that guy asked me to do.
And clearly you have.
Yeah, no, he's a great coach. Love playing for him.
So, what is it? I mean, you got a long losing streak there in the middle. What's it like being the leader that's able to turn it around? You know, being QB1, turning it around there.
Yeah, I mean, it was a team effort. We all got prepared for that game pretty well. We were all sick of losing. We just came in and sick of losing, you know.
Mitchell Cripps, that's he's the guy that, he was your main, like, I won't say security blanket or will be, but I mean he had a big game, right?
Yeah, he did. Big time player. He's only a sophomore.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times, but not in the stat line like week to week. But he's only a sophomore.
Yeah, wow. If I throw that kid a jump ball, he's catching it all day.
Nice.
That kid can catch the rock.
Nice.
In practice, he's been doing it since like his freshman year, just on scout team, just killing kids, and you're like, who is this kid?
Kind of
making plays on our ones. You're like, Jesus.
so I mean, like, when you're going in at quarterback, I mean, like, how do you find a comfort level with guys that you haven't really been thrown to?
Before the game, I like sat down with all the receivers, and I was just telling them, you know, like, when you see me scrambling, try and get open, because that's when like you make plays. Like, don't try and like block or something if you see me scrambling behind the line, because I'm trying to pass the ball here. So I told them, if I go to like the left sideline scrambling, run to the left and fade back, and I'll find you, because that's when people get open. It's when you're scrambling.
Absolutely, and
can't cover anyone for. And can't cover people for that long.
I mean, you know, the last play where you're scrambling, you guys are on I'm looking like the 4-yard line at that point.
Yeah.
And then you start scrambling, and by the time you finally stop scrambling, you are at the 29-yard line. So you threw 32 yards back into the end zone, essentially.
Yeah.
And who did you hit there?
Mitch Cripps.
That was Cripps. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that was phenomenal. So you play lacrosse. You've wrestled. Thinking about wrestling or basketball. Haven't figured it out yet.
Yeah.
Leaning towards basketball or
we'll see.
We'll see. Okay. I
don't
want to
make that decision like during Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. And you're looking to play lacrosse in college.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yep.
When did you start with lacrosse?
I started lacrosse in 8th grade.
Nice.
Yeah. Late start.
And so that kind of jumped. That kind of jumped in terms of favorites, or are you kind of looking at like just like spots where you can get the scholarship or you can get an opportunity to play in college?
Probably the better opportunities. You know. Yeah. I mean, I'm 5'6".
Yeah.
Playing football would be pretty tough.
Although nowadays it's I mean, with Wilson and
true.
It's
definitely changing.
Yeah.
I mean, guys are getting more opportunities, which is great, especially like if you're not the biggest guy. But I don't know. I like lacrosse too. I mean, thinking about like safety too. I mean, all these injuries I've had in football.
Yeah.
Lacrosse, I've never had an injury.
Absolutely. So, but lacrosse is kind of the best of both worlds because you still get to hit.
Exactly. And I played defensive pole, so
nice. Yep.
Yep.
So, in terms of school, like, you said 4.15 GPA.
Yeah. Yes.
Where does that come from? And obviously, your sister Stephanie, she's in college too, or she's.
She graduated. She now works for HubSpot in Cambridge.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a software company.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it.
It's a good company.
Absolutely.
Yeah. She went to UMass.
Nice. So college is kind of in the blood here. Academics is in the blood, but I mean, how do you fit that in, and not just fit it in, but you're excelling there as well?
I take pride in like most things that I do. I always try and like do everything that I do 100%. So schoolwork's always been like a priority in my life, and emphasized by like my parents, which is great.
All right, shout out to the parents. What are your parents' names?
Jackie and Steve.
Gotta give them some love, right? Are they there? Is that why they there now? Okay.
Oh, Jesus. Someone called.
No, it's happened to me so many times I can't even count. So, in terms of what are you thinking? Like, I'm not trying to get bulletin board material out of you, but I mean, uh, Thanksgiving game's always huge in terms of Drake at Methuen. Um,
Mhm.
Methuen is kind of focused on the fact they got a chance to tie the all-time rivalry here.
Yeah, what's that record? You know?
It's like 69 to 68. It's up there. It's up there. So
That's insane.
yeah, it's crazy. Um, I said it on the show on Sunday that how do you not give this guy a shot at QB after that game? As good as JC Santiago's been, JC's coming back from an ankle injury. So we're not breaking news by saying you're going to be playing quarterback, right? I mean, like coach has told you already, or is that still kind of in flux?
I'd say it's in flex, but we'll just have to wait till next week.
Absolutely.
Wednesday probably.
You're gonna do whatever you can do, right? I mean,
yeah. I'm just showing up to practice wherever they put me is where I'm gonna play.
All right, so just today was the day. It was the first day. Tell me what it's like. Just you haven't had this feeling as varsity QB1, and you don't seem like a huge bragger. But come on, like walking down the halls as QB1 after that game, there had to be a little extra swagger in the step today.
I mean,
come on.
Maybe. Definitely enjoyable. Definitely an enjoyable moment, a special moment that I experienced. It was cool.
Were your teachers like, what was that? Like,
yeah. They were like a little surprised. But I mean, some people probably wouldn't even believe me if I told them.
Right? Nobody knows you, other than that spot there. And by the way, I don't want to lessen, like, this is not the first time you've thrown the ball. You had a couple of 5 TD games in the freshman year. You guys went 7-2 when you were playing quarterback.
My first varsity touchdown last year in the Thanksgiving game versus Methuen.
Yes. Now was that an option, or were you in his quarterback?
I was at slot receiver and I got like a jet sweep pass.
Yep.
So it was a trick play through my friend Sean McGuire.
Nice.
He'll be back on Thanksgiving too.
Oh, okay.
Number 3, yeah, he's been out.
Nice. In terms of just having the opportunity, does it now that you have that chance playing quarterback? Does that? I mean, I'm not gonna say does that alter your college thought or does that alter your highlight reel? But I mean, playing quarterback's a little addictive. In terms, you know,
definitely the most fun position on the field because you can like dictate the game. You can literally control what happens. You know what I mean? And you're seeing like today all these quarterbacks just take over games. They're being won by like I don't want to say the quarterback, but like a big part is the quarterback.
The scrambling, like you said, extending the play. I mean, it's. I mean, you just look at
like
Deshaun yesterday. Yeah. Oh yeah, Deshaun. Yeah, I didn't even mention Deshaun Watson, but he's my. I'm a huge Clemson fan, so Deshaun Watson's my boy. So
Trevor Lawrence, nasty.
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely, and like just all the guys. I mean, Renfrew, you know, the wideout now with the Raiders. I mean. Yeah, they've got ridiculous talent.
They're turning into the college powerhouse.
It's insane. It's just
taking over Alabama.
It's insane how it happened. They like Dabo Swinney like literally begged to get a shot at coach, and now he's like Saban. You know, now it's. But I mean, like you showed Friday night. It's just all about getting that opportunity and seizing it.
Exactly.
And outside of the addictive part of it, it seems like you just savor those leadership moments.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Being a leader is definitely something I try to be. You know, like I mean, I feel like there's some kids that look up to me. So when kids are looking up to me, I want to do the best thing. I want to make the best decisions, and just being a leader is what I guess have always done.
Absolutely. All right, so before we let you go, any shout out the O-line. We've talked about your parents and your siblings. Any like friends, teachers, anybody you want to shout out that's just kind of helped you along the way, got you to this spot?
Yeah, I actually want to shout out my running back coach, Coach Woods. He lost his father last week, and geez, when I tell you, this guy does everything for that program. He's been there for like 15 years. He hasn't missed a practice. I mean, even when his father passed away, he was at the practice. He was at the game. It's just insane, like the dedication this guy has for Drake football. He's seen everything. He's been here he's seen us lose. He's seen us win. It's crazy that just we have a guy this dedicated. It's incredible.
Awesome.
It's incredible.
Awesome. Great shout out.
Yeah. Great coach. And I just want to shout out all the coaches for giving me a great senior year. I mean, it's not like obviously the best record-wise, but I mean, it's still a team, family, and couldn't have asked for a better senior year.
I mean, you bleed Drake it seems like you've
100%. Yeah.
Born and raised, or
born and raised in Drake.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. I'm a believer you should support the town that represented you. So I'm not a big private school guy. I'm more of public school. Go support the town that shaped you. And Drake, it's not really a big town. It's not a big school with a lot of kids. But I'm gonna go represent as best as I can.
You know, I'll never. You've probably seen the show enough to see that we get in those arguments from time to time in terms of Central and you know, and even St. John's Prep and some of the private schools. I'll never belittle them in terms of what they do, but I am with you on that. I am a firm believer. You bleed for your town, public schools. You know, like that's the route. So great answer there, man.
Thank you.
Lucas Abarguin, huge appreciation for you getting on with us here today, and hope you have a great week or two here in terms of building up for the Thanksgiving game, and we'll be watching on Thanksgiving, man.
Thank you. Will you guys be at the game?
That's the game. That's the game, absolutely. So we will be there. So maybe we'll talk afterwards.
It should be a good one.
Absolutely. All right, Lucas. Again, thanks for joining us here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, and congratulations on the success. And we'll obviously be watching you throughout the winter and spring as well. But great talking to you here today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, man. That was awesome. All right, so huge shout out to Lucas for joining us here on the show. Let me just make sure I am. Yeah, I guess that is the right camera. Let me fix my camera here. There we go. So yeah, huge shout out to Lucas. Great interview. Want to just tell you that Lucas, you know, I didn't even bring it up with him because he's clearly, between his parents, between his upbringing, I was clearly not getting him to brag on himself one iota. So, but I do want to bring it up to you now. He is one of the MVP nominees for Week 10. Along with Kyle DeRigo, Scotty Brown, and Brennan Ty. So right now, as I look at the results, it looks like Drake is getting out the vote for one, Mr. Lucas, thus far. But there is still about 34 hours left, 33 hours left. So. Keep getting the vote out at on Twitter at MVC Gridiron Week, and hey, this will be posted on MVCSportsToday.com as well. Please check out the new site there. Got some voting going on for the all sports MVP of the fall there. So non-football MVP. So check that out on MVC SportsToday.com. I am Tim Wood. Yep, that's me. Green screened. Bad lighting on a drizzly, rainy day here in Methuen and across the Merrimack Valley. Have a great week. We'll be back on throughout the week. We've got some interviews going on, so we'll be back on. And we'll be talking Thanksgiving previews on Sunday. We will also be giving you a sneak preview of some of the awards discussions that we're having around the MVC Gridiron Gridiron Weekly Awards, the first annual. So we will do that, and hope you have a great week. A better day than the weather. Rise above the weather on this Monday, and we will talk to you down the road. All right, so we're back here on MVC Gridiron Weekly, presented by Davila and DeFusco Insurance, joined by another member of the Bryant family. You may remember him. We talked about him extensively earlier in the season, and then as callous hosts, we discarded him, but he's back. It's Connor Bryant.
Tim, what has he done for us lately?
Right? Exactly.
After he really got hurt, and we put him on the shelf and we moved on.
Yeah, I mean,
as I told Kyle DeRigo, we adopted Tewksbury.
Yeah.
That's been the team I've been rooting for. I mean, they make me go to the Methuen games, but it's from afar I've been cheering on the Redmen.
All right, I hear you talk for like an hour and a half every Sunday. I want to hear your son, Connor. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So, all right. Tell us about the thrill of getting back on the field.
It was just awesome going back to practice all that week and getting to do all the reps with my boys and just getting back in the offense and getting the flow with everyone, and just felt good, and the energy was great. Everyone was happy to be there and have me back, so it was good. Can
you just describe the energy? Like, I mean, this team has struggled. You can just see that from the scoreboard, but you can see it in the games. Tell me about the energy. Tell me how, in terms of, that was a close game. Chelmsford is a sneaky team in terms of they're not their record, and so on paper, I think people were like, "Oh, Connor's back. This is going to be 49-7." No. That's not how it played out, but I mean, tell us just how that played out and how the energy was around the team.
The past couple of weeks, it's been cold, obviously, and the practice has been kind of slow, and I've been trying to get everyone amped up, but right when I came back, I was like, all right, we need 100% energy, 100% focus, just because this is a meaningless game. We gotta stay focused like it's a playoff game. We gotta try to end the season with a winning record. We just gotta stay focused.
I mean,
Tim, there's a difference between being on the sideline, wheeling around in a cast, or on crutches, telling people to step up. But once you strap on the pads and you're in that huddle, or you're out on that field and you're telling people to step up and do their thing, I think it brings a different vibe. At the Thursday dinner, one of the players, Leslie Theodore, as they were coming in from practice, we get a big Thursday night dinner. We feed about 100 kids each week. And he came in and looked me dead in the eye and said, "We're winning this Friday." They haven't said that for the past 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So this is no knock on Ganji, who is a great kid, great family, or JP, who stepped in a little bit, but they didn't believe like they should have, and it cost them 5 games.
Yeah.
Where the kid throws back on the helmet and shoulder pads, and regardless of the game, they felt like towards the last second of that game they were going to win, and I think that's something that people underestimate, not only the performance of the play, but what you bring as a leader too. So 5 turnovers didn't help though, huh?
No, it was definitely getting some rust out and kind of get
not all 5 for you.
No, but definitely just the kinks on our offense and just stuff that we haven't worked on in a little while. So we're gonna go back to practice and try to get that out or drag it. So
I mean, just tell it, like, a foot injury is not an injury you can hide. It is like, especially as a quarterback, like you can't. You can't play through that in terms of, and especially the way you are, in terms of the mobility and the multi faceted game that you bring. Just tell us in terms of how you knew you could actually do it.
I went and saw my trainer at Become, and I worked out with him a little, and he was doing all ankle work and footwork and trying to get me prepared and just showing me movements that I haven't obviously felt in a while. And then he helped me out a lot. And then my trainer, Al Delano, was giving me a lot of ankle stretches, wrapping me up every day and making sure that I was close to 100% I could get to play.
Nice. In terms of just tell us a little bit how the game itself played out, and just what you were seeing from Chelmsford.
We definitely knew it was going to be a good, close, cold game, and we just had to go out there with the mindset that we had to go and win. And no matter what the adversity was, we always had to come back and try to make a stop on offense or defense, and just get the ball to where we needed to be and score.
I mean, the stops.
So, Tim,
the stops were crazy.
Tim, talking to Kyle and hearing the mentality of not getting down, I think that's something as a parent, as a fan of the Rangers, I think that's what they struggled with. Last week they opened with a kickoff return penalty, and you can just see the deflation of their desire to be able to win. And I think that they had, interception in overtime. Kareem had a tough fumble at the 1 yard line on a really nice pass play.
It's funny. Just as you said that came up on the screen. I'm playing the highlights as we're talking here, and that came up on the screen right as you said that. I mean that, and by the way, for those who see the play, like, this was not like a kid loafing going into the end zone. That was a hell of a play by the Chelmsford kid.
Which, I'll be honest, Tim, it looked like Kareem was kind of like, I don't want to say showboating, was putting the ball out, which they're taught not to. And I watched the film about 15 times because I think Kareem's had a great year, and that would have really bummed me out. Nope, the kid made a great play.
That's
Don't
not Kareem.
punch it out.
Yeah, that's not the Kareem we know.
Talked to Kareem in the huddle, and he goes, I literally was dragging the kid, and the kid just made a great play and just punched the ball. He said, I should have been holding the ball tighter. He said, there was definitely some things I could have fixed.
That kid timed it perfectly, not just to punch it, but timed the punch perfectly. That was like that was a next level play for sure. So in terms,
but going back to my thing though, I think that was the one thing as a dad that impressed me is that team didn't quit on Friday night.
Yep.
There was multiple times, Chelmsford scored first. Methuen with him back really should have scored first. They couldn't. They ended up scoring in the first quarter, which was their first touchdown in the first quarter since going back to Lowell. So it kind of the whole momentum changed, and not taking anything away from Bergeron, had a great game, some great yards, but Zach's been that player all year long.
Yep.
And it took some defensive scheming to watch Connor to be able to allow Zach to have some of those open holes. And I think that's what happens when you have a running quarterback. It takes some of the attention from the defense away from your tailback, which obviously opened up some lanes for Zach. So hopefully we can keep working on that and get that ready for Drake and
I think that's the energy too. Sure. I mean, like nobody wants to make those turnovers, but that's the team that as a fan we've got to know, in terms of knowing that the reset button is hit as soon as that happens. Like you guys have come back from those moments in those first 4 games. Last year with you as a junior, that was the signature. You guys were like in close games, and you could make mistakes, but we saw you rebound from them time and again. In this 5 games, that wasn't there, and it's not. I think. I mean, listen. I think it speaks to your leadership, and I know I'm not gonna give you a big head, I'm not sucking up with your dad there, but I mean, it does. It speaks to the leadership, and it's fun to watch you play. So I'm thrilled that you're back out there. Regardless of our personal relationship, I can just tell you that coaches all around the league, as we do these MVC Gridiron awards, they didn't forget you. So, it's. I really hope you guys. So talk to me just a little bit before we go. You got the Drake game. You've got lacrosse left, but where are you in terms of college, in terms of next level, in terms of thinking of what's next?
I got to start applying to schools, and I definitely want to play football, but I don't want to rule out lacrosse just yet, just depending on what I get, and I just got to keep working hard in the off season for lacrosse and to see what comes around in the spring for me.
And then with the injury, things are on hold a little bit.
Yes.
So I think we're kind of seeing how the foot heals, and we're gonna wait for the football season to be over, and then kind of evaluate, kind of what he wants to do as far as school. And I mean, school is going to happen, whether it's for a sport or not. I mean, he knows that, for his future, that's something that's needed. But I'd love to see him play a sport, but at the end of the day, as you can see by the shirt, college is part of the future. So,
Bill, what's the one question? I mean, what? Put your host hat back on. Regardless of him being your son, having this kid on today, what's the one question as a host you want to ask Connor Bryant?
My first question early on in the interview would have been, at what point during the game on Friday night did you find yourself feeling like, okay, now I can play? As his dad, I knew the first quarter that wasn't him. You know what I mean? He was very hesitant. He was very nervous, and we haven't really talked because after the game, he had somewhere to go, and then they went to New York for their class trip. So he didn't come home last night till 2 in the morning. So this is the first time that we're actually just getting caught up. But at what point during the game did he really relax? I mean, obviously there was rust.
So ask Connor Bryant that.
He knows I'm asking that right now. So okay. At what point in the game did you feel like, you know what, Connor Bryant, the player, is back, not the leader, not the leader on the field, but performance-wise, that you felt like you were back?
It was the drive that we were going in, and then Zach scored on their sideline. I was talking to Zach that whole drive. I was saying, all right, we got to keep pounding it. We got to keep pounding it. He had a couple of great runs on that drive, and right when I was running off the sideline, I was running off of him, and he was all amped up, and I knew that just me talking to him was getting him like amped up and running the ball even harder. And then the rest of the game, he ran the ball the toughest he could, and I was super proud of him. And I kind of knew that, like, me, the player, wasn't officially there with the way I was playing, but definitely me on the field was back, and I was helping him out, getting more yards on his carries.
Nice. All right, so best thing you saw in New York yesterday?
Probably 9/11 Memorial. That was really powerful, and there was a lot of people there, and I learned that all the white roses and everyone's names are people's birthdays, so I made sure I went around and read everyone's names and just looked at all that.
Nice. All right, so I got to mention this because go ahead.
Tim, I was gonna say, wasn't it Farrah TikToking while she was sleeping?
Thank you, because that's
after the 9/11 Memorial, for crying out loud, Connie, you're killing me.
Thank you though, because now I can, because you said it. Because I'm up late doing production on the show. I see that tweet. Explain to me the concept of TikToking while sleeping.
So we were on the bus coming home. It was obviously a long day. She usually watches them when she goes to sleep. So she had her headphones in and she was watching them, and I was looking at her, and I would watch the video, and as it would end, her thumb would go up and swipe them. So I'd watch her for 5 minutes as videos would go through and just swipe while she was sleeping. She must have been like hearing them in her sleep or something, and just kept going, and it was just a funny thing. It was awesome.
That's where we're at, Bill. That's where we're at.
Yep. That's the new generation.
Forget throwing muscle memory. It's swiping muscle memory.
Oh boy!
Happy early 18th birthday to our production assistant Farrah Kanan, by the way. So, what were you gonna say, Bill?
Kyle Frigo did say he's looking forward for him and the Fleming brothers to see you on the lacrosse field.
Yes, some gauntlets were dropped a little bit between dad and between sons. So
I'm going to talk about Peter being kind of a lame referee. So yeah, don't pay for that.
yeah. Well played, Dad. Yep. All right, Connor. Any last thoughts?
I just want to say shout out to all my teammates for accepting me back gratefully and having all the energy and getting onto that field on Friday and getting that win, and now we're on to Drake it right now.
And a huge game against Drake it. I mean, you're coming up now. Now Drake it's got their groove back. You guys have been kind of in a similar situation. They lost themselves in the middle of the season, and Santiago's still kind of beaten up, but their quarterback. But one Lucas Abarguin stepped in with 414 scrimmage yards on Friday night. So, and they got to win. They're coming in. They're coming in juiced, and that'll be a game. That'll be a game. Looking forward to it.
All right.
Please, just like stay off the foot for like a week. No more walking
Yeah,
around New York City. Thank you.
Rest up, watch some film. So
Nice. All right, Connor Bryant. Listen, pleasure talking to you. Appreciate you getting up. I know you had a long day yesterday, but thrilled to be talking to you again. All kidding aside, just keep doing what you're doing, kid.
thank you. Nice to see you.
All right, peace out.